Hey there, yogis. Thanks for tuning in to Lotus Life with Tracy Phoenix for a guiltless yoga practice. So, you have a challenging schedule you lined up, and you need your mind and your body right for it. So, before you even think about taking yoga off the top of that schedule, put the pen down. So, I put together this simple asana practice in order to awaken your senses, still give you that sense of oneness you desire with filling your spiritual cup before you set out. It's the right balance of meditation and movement in a short amount of time in order to align your body. So still roll out your mat and let's get some feel-good energy and oxygen flowing through the bones, the muscles, and the fluid that runs through you in order to prime yourself for this challenging day, and then it won't feel so busy going into it. So let's begin. Let's begin in a cross-legged position with the palms facing down and your eyes closed. Let's take a deep inhale and a big cleansing breath out. And just begin focusing on your breath behind your eyelids. Just inhaling and exhaling. And just allowing your shoulders and your neck to relax. Let your jaw release any grips. So then your facial expression will melt, so the muscles, even over your skull, can relax. And let that same effect take place to your arms and your legs. All the while you are inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Even elongate the breath a bit. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So all that's left is your breath, a clear conscious, and your intention. So set the intention for your practice now, while breathing and staying in the conscious mind. And take a deep breath in here, and let the palms come together into prayer in your heart to open the practice and honor your intention with the sacred sound of Om. Taking a deep inhale here. Set your intention free by inhaling, taking the prayer hands all the way up overhead and bringing the palms to your thighs so you can swing the upper body to the right now in a circular motion. And yes, even letting the head go in a circular motion with it to loosen up the waist, the abdominals, your lower back, as well as your neck and shoulders. And don't forget to swing to the other side and go in the left direction. Just a few times. So then eventually you'll settle yourself and come to center. Let the eyes come open and come to all fours, coming onto your hands and knees. And we're going to warm up the shoulders a bit here with a retract and protracting of the shoulders to be able to warm up those muscles between the spine and the shoulder blades. So what you want to do is when you retract, let the spine and the chest kind of slump through the arms while the arms are still straight. And then push the spine towards the ceiling, but don't rear the back. So retract here and protract, push towards the ceiling.
Retract the spine and chest towards the floor and protract it up. One more time, retract, protract, and then you can come to your elbows, because I like doing cat and cow sometimes this way. Because cat and cow is good for inflammation in the spine, but you get a nice slope and the lower back gets more space created. So in the inhale breath, you're going to curl the tailbone back and lift the chest and chin. And you're going to rear the back up and arc the spine and hang the head. Inhale, curl the tailbone back, lift the chest and chin. And exhale, arc under, tucking and rolling. Inhale, curl the tailbone back, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck it under. Inhale, curl back and out. Exhale, tuck under. And come back to neutral, so you can come up to your hands and take a wide-legged down dog, even as wide as the mat, and kind of walk it just a couple times. And even after you've walked a couple times, straighten the legs, kind of wag the tail and sway your weight back and forth, leg to leg. Kind of gets a little, the kinks and pops out of the pelvis. Look under the right arm. Look under the left arm. Getting a nice press against the mat with the palms. Pressing the knuckles into the floor as well. And then walk each foot behind each hand at the top of the mat, keeping the knees bent, kind of slumped over. Grab opposite elbows. Really get loose here, because we're going to push through our feet up to the ceiling on the next inhale breath. So on your next inhale, reach all the way up, push and straighten and reach for the ceiling. Then exhale, dive back down to the toes, bend the knees. Inhale, push through your feet, lift all the way up, grow here, and then exhale, go back down to the feet, bend the knees. Inhale, push all the way up, grow here. Exhale all the way down. And then one more time, lifting all the way up, stay here. And then twist to the right, open the arms out like the letter T, spread the fingers. And then on your inhale breath, you can come back in the center, go to the left, do the same. Open the arms like the letter T, spread the fingers. So let's do that one more time. Inhale, come into center, twist to the right, open out. Inhale, come into center, exhale to the left, open out. When you come back in through center on the inhale, bring the palms into your heart, bringing the feet together at the top of your mat. Centering yourself so you become the mountain in this pose. And then inhale, we're going to take the prayer hands all the way up and dive down to the toes, folding in half in this deep forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway up, take your hands to your shins, roll your shoulders back, and then bend into knees, come into plank, and we're going to retract and protract the shoulders a couple more times. This is going to build some heat here. So let's retract on the inhale breath. Exhale, protract. Stay strong. Inhale, retract. Exhale, protract. Inhale, retract. Protract. Retract. And protract. And now we can let the knees come down, the chest between the palms and chin. Slide through, find a little baby cobra, toes are down, lift your chest and chin, get those shoulders back. And then lower down, push through, and use your entire body to get back to downward facing dog. Use your knees, use your hips. And just settle in where the downward dog's hip width distance apart now. And then we're going to pick up the right leg eventually here, and we're going to bring it to the top of the mat and bring the left foot to chase it. So you can lift halfway up, elongate the spine, and release it back down over the thighs. Inhale, reach all the way up to stand, push, and then swan dive back down to your toes, folding. Inhale, lengthen out the spine, draw halfway up here. Bend the knees, walk back to plank, and lower straight down to knees, chest, chin. Slithering through, maybe your cobra gets a little bigger here. So lift up and press against the floor, test it out. And then lower back down, bend through the knees, use the whole entire body, find your way to downward facing dog. Again, feet are hip width distance apart. Spread your fingers, really get a good press with the knuckles here and ground yourself. And then we'll pick up the left foot to come to the top of the mat first and chase it with the right, bringing the feet together, halfway lift, and exhale, release down. Last time to push through and reach up to the ceiling and dive back down to the toes. Inhale, lift halfway up, really feel the back of the thighs grow here. And then walk back to plank. Maybe you just take your plank and just lower it with control all the way to the floor with straight knees. Lay the toes flat, experiment. Maybe grow in cobra again, or lift the thighs up off the floor, kind of play around with upward dog and roll back over the feet and find downward facing dog. Plug those shoulders back. And we're going to roll through that little cycle one more time for those that want to experiment with your halfway plank now. So come forward to plank, and you can still do knees, chest, chin, or go halfway plank, floating above the mat. Roll over the feet to come into upward facing dog, and flip or roll going back into downward facing dog. And then your inhale breath is going to invite the heels to come up and take the knees to the floor together and nestle back into child's pose. Taking a couple of breaths, you'll feel your lungs expand, and that's going to stretch those back ribs. And then let's open the hips by lifting up and opening the knees really wide and going to a wide-legged child's pose, letting the chest descend lower to the mat. And I want to get one more shoulder stretch in here before we come onto our back. So you're going to lift up and take your right arm underneath you. Just thread it underneath you and lay right back onto it. So it just pulls that shoulder blade like taffy away from the spine a bit. And then take that right arm out and thread the left one underneath you, doing the same. And then you can gradually come up and begin to flip onto your back with your knees bent and your feet flat. And even take your hands to your belly and just stay connected to your breath, ensuring that you're staying inside. Stay even with the breath, even inhales and even exhales. So then we can take our arms like the letter T with the palms up and bring one heel behind each hip so the feet will be hip-width distance apart. And kind of loosen up the neck here and then push into the floor, lifting the hips up nice and high. So you can get a nice roll up over the tops of the shoulders. So I like this variation of bridge sometimes because it gives me a nice long feeling in the back of the neck. And I get a really good press into the earth with my feet, lifting my hips up nice and high for this last breath before lowering down. And then wiggle your feet to the edges of the mat or wider than your hips so you can let the knees fall right and left, back and forth like a windshield wiper. So you're just letting the legs move back and forth, letting your pelvis move, feeling that big movement you have. It's so mobile now. And let the knees kind of get stuck to the left. And take the arms up overhead, stretch big. And take the arms back out like the letter T with the palms up. And pick up your right knee and grab it with your left hand. Keep the head neutral. So while you're letting that right knee come down towards the floor with your hand guiding it, you can just let your shoulders relax back into the floor. Getting this nice ring out of the spine. Bring the legs back to where you started with the legs wide. And then let the knees fall to the right. Take a big overhead stretch. And take the arms back out so you can grab your right hand to that left knee now and guide it towards the floor while the left shoulder does the same. And this is nice because not only does the spine get a nice ring out, but the abdominals get a little squish too, so you're able to really stoke the digestive fire for the day. And then bring the legs back so you can bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a great big hug. You deserve it for making this time. And then separate the knees, hug the backs of the knees in towards you wide, and take the feet to the ceiling. Maybe take a grip there to the outer edges of the feet by the pinky toe side and take a happy baby. And just so, as long as the spine's nice and long, the head is loose, so you can even shake the head no a couple times here. Or if your baby's getting real happy, you can rock side to side with the whole body as well. And then be able to just take one last breath before letting go of those feet and extending the legs out, and keep them wide. Keep them out wider than the hips. Take one more active stretch overhead before taking the arms down by your side, just a little off to the side, off the mat. So your shoulders are roomy, your hips are roomy. And take a deep breath in through the nose and deflate into the earth as you exhale out. And just briefly scan your body, ensuring that your arms and your legs are relaxed. That even everything, including your abdomen and all the organs behind the abdomen, are softening now. And everything is just falling into place. Your skull is heavy. And the jaw gets to slip back. And in this posture, Shavasana, corpse, you make peace. You lay to rest all your fears, your worries, and the practice itself. Almost allowing the postures to just take refuge in your body and do their inner work. And you're making peace with any judgment or criticism you've had towards yourself and others. Laying to rest any tension that you've held up in your body up until this point today. Make peace and lay to rest the way everything is. And know that everything is the way it's supposed to be, right here and right now. Take a deep breath in and exhale fully, letting that deep breath come to. And be able to bend your elbows, placing your hands on your belly and connect to the self. Eventually bend your knees here and roll to your right side so you not only can gather your intention but hone the awareness that was built up in this practice to take with you today. Make your way back up to your cross-legged position, keeping the eyes closed and bringing the hands into prayer, into your heart to close the practice and your intention. Take a deep inhale. May your heart only be filled with love towards every intention in your future. And bring your thumbs to your lips. May your lips only speak of truth and love towards yourself and others. And bring your thumbs to your forehead. May your thoughts be pure towards yourself and others. Take your last inhale of this practice. Lift your heart to your truth. Exhale, bow forward into gratitude towards yourself and towards the earth that holds you.
Now you're set. You can go get ready, look forward to this schedule, and accept the challenge. But before you leave, hit that like button down below, share it with a few friends, and subscribe to the channel so you'll get more videos in the future, especially next week where we're back in meditation, but a little longer than a minute, being able to stretch a little more of that quiet time inside your mind. And when you get a chance, I'd love to hear from you and how this is working out for you. So use the comment section down below or email me at bighairlotus@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Namaste.